Hello folks, and welcome back to a look at my physical music releases that I have received this week through the post, vinyl, CDs, but first, a book. From Omnibus Press is a large format book devoted to one Eddie Cochrane, priced at £30. This is a hardback spanning 192 pages and written by a certain Lee Bullman. Now, Eddie Cochrane in person, which is the name of the book, is a fascinating history, but also a kind of personal memoir, you might say, of a fan, and I'll explain a bit more. Now, when Cochrane died in 1960, the result of a car crash in the UK while on tour, his family preserved his bedroom and its contents as a sort of shrine, which families are apt to do on occasion in these tragic circumstances. Now, later, the family home was sold and the contents of that bedroom went into storage in the US. Now, the storage owner has kept those contents for many, many years, but decided to sell the lot in 2021, sight unseen. An Englishman and musician, Sonny West, bought as much of that collection as he could find. I think he bought, from what I can work out, maybe I need to read the book again, I think he bought as much from the direct sale as possible and then went on afterwards and tried to pick up more pieces after the event or something like that. No matter, he grabbed an awful lot of it and he shipped all of that to the UK, and where he lives on the south coast of England, I think. So this book is about Eddie Cochrane, his story, and also the story of that collection, which features in this book. And because of that, needless to say, it is rammed with rarities of the man and his times that you've never seen before. If you're a fan of Eddie Cochrane, if you're a fan of rock and roll, if you're a fan of music history, and that's where I come in with a lot of this kind of music, rock and roll, R&B, doo-wop, early soul, that kind of stuff. I come from a history side because a lot of this, I'm not a mad fan of rock and roll, but I'm interested in the people who are influenced by that. So to me, it's a sort of learning about roots for the Beatles, say, or the Byrds, or the Beach Boys, or whoever, which are more my line. So to me, remains absolutely fascinating. And it's a time and a place, and it's cultural history, and it's social history. It's wider than, I mean, obviously the man himself, but it's wider than that. It's a broad history of times, a place, a grieving family, all of these things. A fan, you know, as an uber fan, all of these things mixed into one book. Tremendous book. Go get it. First up on CD, we have a box set, and a rather lovely box set devoted to Kirsty McColl, called See That Girl? This 8-CD set includes 161 tracks covering 1979 to 2000, and that means you get 40 previously unreleased tracks, including an entire album from 1983 called Real. There's A and B sides here, there's BBC recordings, McColl singing other people's songs, there's collaborations, demos, live sets from Glastonbury in '92 and the Jazz Cafe in London in '99, and a rather nice 60-page hardback book penned by noted musical scribbler Jude Rogers. And kudos to Rogers for cramming in such an interesting interview-ridden biography of McColl. This is a work of substance. The box set itself is colourful, it's compact, sturdy, and packaged very well. Interesting images, wonderful music, excellent set. 2 CDs from Jasmine. They've been pushing out quite a lot recently in the UK, beginning with 2 Minute Heroes, the US edition via Bernie Keith. This is a 42-track compilation. Well, these tracks are 2 minutes and under, so 42, yeah. So these songs get in, they do their thing, and then they leave before you've even made yourself comfortable. They include the hits, they include B-sides, and rarities from the likes of Johnny Burnett, Ray Charles, Bobby Darin, Connie Francis, Gene Pitney, and more. Did I ever tell you that I once interviewed Gene Pitney? One day I'll print that on my website. Keep a lookout, I'll have to dig that out. Nice guy was Gene Pitney. Anyway, also check out Stick McGhee and his CD called The Spodie OD Man, I think that's what it's called, which is a 2-CD set from the younger brother of Brownie McGhee. An accomplished guitarist was Stick, and also the singer of Drinkin' Wine, Spodie OD, a contender for the very first rock and roll record. And yes, I know there's a lot out there, but this is one of them. This is a blues and R&B collection, and it covers 1946 all the way to 1960, and let's go for some vinyl. To begin our waxy coverage, allow me to present a batch of albums by two people, well, actually more than two people, but principally two people, a husband and wife team, Starlite and Campbell. Well, Susie Starlite, late of 90s folk rock band Megiddo. It sounds something almost Douglas Adams-like. Megadido. And Simon Campbell, late of Whitefire and Road Runner, a pair who have, as it were, previously jumped the broom. Combining rock, blues and folk, 2016's Blueberry, or if you like, Blueberry, showcases competent, I would say, blues riffs with plenty of groove. This is true. It's a little bit Me Too in blues rock terms, but tends to come to life when Starlight appears on the moody, melodic track Guilty. 2021's Language of Curiosity provides more of the same. Now, there's nothing wrong with Simon Campbell's contribution here, and I'm sure he's a lovely guy, but when Susie holds court on the track It Ain't Right, the LP perks up. Starlight's .1 album, to my mind, is an improvement over the other two. Here, Simon Campbell stops pretending he's Eric Clapton, and instead, he now thinks he's part of the band Divine Comedy. And this is a good thing. This better suits his style, this new approach, and it better blends with Starlight's overall style. For the first time, I feel they are singing as a pair, as a unit, instead of this rather haphazard, granular thing they've got going in their blues albums. So I like this electro-quirky direction. It's a bit of a relief, actually. I also listened to Campbell's low-key solo outing, The Knife, from 2014, which I liked, actually, and preferred to his later blues rock outings. This album, this solo album, The Knife, it's not amazing, nothing truly outstanding here, but it's pleasant enough. Finally, I checked out the 12-inch 3-track EP by Campbell and Starlight as the side project Electrolyte. This self-titled release is both Campbell and Starlight as part of a 5-piece outfit, and it is bland. Stick to the Divine Comedy experiment, folks. That's the future. Next we have Roger Eno and The Skies. They shift like chords on the Deutsche Grammophon label. This 12-track neoclassical piano work, or just straight classical if you fancy, provides ambience and quietude. Eno is in no rush here. He drags the tempo back and then back some more. Thinks about his next move, depresses a piano key, and we're off again. It's that kind of pace. Calming, serene. That's our Rog. 3 releases, LP releases from the shoegaze or Brit pop band, depending when you joined the party, Lush. I much preferred the shoegaze period myself. I've got to say, I received 3 LP reissues via 4AD. 1992's Spooky provided a Robin Guthrie collaboration, he of the Cocteau Twins fame, of course, which added a dense wash of guitar ambience, plus killer melodies via the likes of Nothing Natural, For Love, Superblast, and Monochrome. Uplifting, even when it's down, is this LP. 1994's Split was just as good. Love Life is in there, Never Never, and the wonderful Lit Up are just a few of the highlights. Now, for the 1996 album Love Life, the band were kind of roped in to the Brit pop scene. And I never felt, personally, as a fan, I never felt really comfortable seeing them there. They always, I don't know, I always wanted to get in there and rescue them and pull them back out and put them in the shoegaze genre where they belong, if you see what I mean. Anyway, they had lots of commercial success, and good for them, says I, even though, as I say, this, not my favourite LP, the weakest of the 3, I would say, in my opinion. Even so, I'm glad it's still here. Let's finish with Walt Disney, shall we? First up, we have the soundtrack album for the animated feature film Frozen. This is a 10th anniversary release of the original album, but this one is a bit of a special edition because it has, how do you pronounce this? Zoetrope? Zoetrope? Zoetrope. I think it's Zoetrope. Tell me how you pronounce it, folks. Anyway, it's that kind of pressing, and it has animated rings that spring to life during play, and this Zoetrope thing is also applied to Tim Burton's A Nightmare Before Christmas with lyrics, music and score by Danny Elfman. So this is a double album, and it features 4 sides of, well, animated designs which are pressed onto the discs, and as the disc rotates, animation springs to life. Very Walt Disney, hey. Anyway, both releases are just as good to watch, therefore, as to hear. And that's your lot. Thank you very much for staying to the end of this video. If I could ask you down below if you could click on the like and subscribe buttons, it will help me and this channel. Further down, you can catch out some of the links. If I have any links to give you, I will put them down there for the bits and pieces I've just mentioned. Also, there are links to my Facebook group, which you're welcome to join, my website, and please check that out because it's still pretty new, very professional now, even more professional than it used to be, and much easier to use on mobile, and lots of new content. Also, speaking of new content, my Patreon page, where you will find the latest hi-fi news, etc. video, plus other guides and music-related text features, and there's all kinds of stuff. Memorabilia, collectibles, there's a focus on that, hi-fi tour videos, all kinds of things. Anyway, check it out, and link down there. I'll be back on the, I don't know, I've been doing quite a few videos all at one go because I've been playing catch-up, so I have no idea what's next and when it'll appear, but it won't be long, folks, believe me, it won't be long. So, yeah, there'll be it's like a bus, you know, you've had nothing for about 3 weeks, and then 10 appear at one go. Hey. So we'll see. Keep an eye open. It won't be long. Until then, whenever then is, bye-bye for now.